Hey guys, welcome back to AZ Trading, and in this video we're going to do a recap on the examples that formed or didn't form on Thursday and Friday, so the 9th and 10th of June 2022. So on the Thursday we had 2 examples, and on the Friday we had 1 example if you were very desperate for a trade, which you should never be. Okay, let's see what I saw on Thursday. So as always, the pattern that we're going to be backtesting is the RMR pattern. So to recap, what I mean by RMR is when there's a range, we look for raid first, we look for a shift after the raid, and then a return into a specific area. So a gap, an order block, the fib 50% discount level, etc. Okay, so on Thursday here, what do we see? So first, we have relative equal highs over here. Let's draw that out. So we have a raid of liquidity, raiding buy side. Next thing we wait for is the shift. That's the shift over here. So once that shift's happened, we wait for a return. So either return to this gap here, either return to this order block in here, either return to a discount in the fib. We'll do the full swing. So this is the full swing, so any price above this 50% level, whatever your entry requirements are, that's what we're waiting for. And then we zoom out in time. In the 9th, it returned to that area, so we'd be happy to place a short in there with our stop at the previous high, at the raid's high, and our objectives at different areas of liquidity and different areas of gaps. So you can have an objective at the short gap here, at the liquidity lows there, at the gap down here, at the lows, etc, etc. So that's the first example. Make it a quick video. And on the same day, within the same framework, we had another pattern. So let's zoom down into a 15-minute gap, 15-minute time frame. So short-term high here, we have a raid buy-side liquidity, and it reached into a gap, so a raid or a reach. Next thing we wait for is the shift. So the shift below this low, which it does, it performed a gap, printed a gap, so we wait for a retracement into that gap. A lot of people would see this strong move bearish and panic short and try to FOMO in, but we don't do that. We wait for a price that we're happy to participate in. This would be a very bad price to short at. So we wait, we be patient for our setup to form. If it doesn't retrace in there, that's okay with us. We just move on to the next setup. But if it does, we can place a short once it reaches the gap, our stop at the high, and once again, objectives all the way to the areas of liquidity and gaps. And that little to no drawdown at all as well. So excellent setup, these both. Okay, let's move on to Friday, 10th of June. We had big news at 8:30 with CPI. Let's go on to 1 minute just to have a quick look. But long story short, pretty much no setup at all. We had a raid on this short-term high, we had a shift in structure, we had a gap, but it did not retrace at 8:30, so no opportunity to enter with that framework. Completely dumped into the big 4-hour gaps, which was just over here for context. That's the big 4-hour gap there. Let's zoom back in. Next we had 9:30 equity open, not much setup at all. Did raid a short-term high, but did not perform the RMR setup. And once again at 10 o'clock with the consumer sentiment report, no setup there either. We did have a gap from the 9:30 equity open here, so that could be an entry for you. You could place a short within there, have your stop above a high. This is a bit more aggressive since the move has already happened, but that is an opportunity. And the final setup that I saw, we can backtest it, is from 15 to 16, so 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. just before equities close. Usually we see a stop run and then a continuation. So what do we see prior to 3 p.m.? We have relative equal highs, we have a raid. Next thing we know, we have a gap presented over here, and you can be an enter. You can be a participant at that gap. Once again, stop above the high is always protected, your stop, and you can just ride it to 16, so 4 p.m. Ride it to 4 p.m. and there you go. Not much drawdown as well. Alright, as always, thank you so much for watching. and I'll probably be doing more of these backtesting videos just to pump out some more content. Alright, take care everyone. Peace.